Well, welcome back to the Mythmakers podcast.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. We are back, and we have had so many events. This hat, if you're watching this, is made by Minji. And it's leftover from the garb sale, which we sold at.
And I have a bunch of hats.
Yeah.
Because I made 6 more, and then they didn't sell.
It was a lot busier on Saturday. That's when we went for both days this year. Last time we only did Saturday, and this year we did both. But I think that people thought that we were only going to have stuff on Saturday, and then Sunday was leftover. But you made new stuff for Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I
You
kept
brought
like
new stuff.
I kept half of my stuff out to go for Sunday.
Which is also silly because there were 40 new vendors on Sunday.
So a fourth of the vendors were new, and most people kept half of their stock so that they'd have stuff on Sunday, and it really was like a huge difference. Like I feel there were way less shoppers, and I think that people who went on Saturday weren't even like coming back to our booth because they thought they'd already looked at it. And I'm like,
we're still here.
I should have made a big sign that said I literally kept half of my stuff at home. Next time I won't do that. I'll bring it all on Saturday and then just let it roll. But we're going to talk a little bit.
Put a sign out on Saturday that says I'll have more on Sunday.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We're going to talk about the garb sale a little bit later in this episode and just markets and things that we're thinking about doing in the future and our own markets. But that'll be in a bit. I think to start off, we went and we saw the Odyssey in theaters, and we're going to have a chat about it because Minji liked it and I didn't. And I think I have some strong opinions about why I don't like it. And I think the more I've thought about it and the more I've watched clips, the more I don't like it because I feel that there are so many things that I wish have been done differently. But
also very influenced by opinions on the internet.
You can say what you want. I felt that way when we left the movie, but you liked it a lot when we left the movie. So why don't you go into some of the stuff that you liked a lot about it?
I like pretty much all of Christopher Nolan's movies. It's definitely not his best movie, and it's not my favorite movie.
What do you think is Christopher Nolan's best movie?
Interstellar.
Okay.
For sure. I think Interstellar is his most unique, for one. Like, he's not rebooting a franchise. And then it's also the most interesting in terms of like turning a concept kind of on its head. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay. So like the idea of space travel also being time travel is like not an abnormal thought in physics and not like something that's completely out of nowhere that he made up himself, but it is not usually visualized in a way that is like very useful. Like I feel like it made it so the concepts that are common in physics that feel really hard to parse and understand as someone who did not like physics. I feel like Interstellar makes it a lot easier to visualize and understand while also being like compelling and like the different ways that gravity affects time and everything. Like, I think it was just a very cool way to show the concepts that exist in physics that are interesting and cool, but, like, not really accessible to, like, the average person who doesn't care much.
Yeah, sure.
Or doesn't like physics.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And additionally, I think that's one of the things that I liked about the Odyssey was I feel that in certain visual ways, like, the hell scene, like the Hades scene, that was awesome.
That was really cool.
I mean, I feel that was one of the coolest scenes I feel like I've seen that has done a take on the underworld in a really long time. And I felt that it was interesting in a way that it really captured the feeling of the story and the dread and everything. And I did really, really enjoy that part. And the Cyclops.
And it didn't, like, fall back on tropes of hell. Like modern tropes of hell, which I thought was really cool. Like, I don't know. It didn't have like the fire and brimstone, but it still kind of like did feel like everything had been a volcanic eruption, but like was after all of the like ash settles and everything's like kind of dead.
Or like being buried.
Yeah.
Like this idea of like dirt. And I also really liked just the weight of like seeing everyone that died in battle type vibes, which, you know.
Yeah, just like seeing the like quantity visualized was very interesting.
It was very powerful. So I do think that there were really powerful visuals. I also think like within the Trojan horse, and obviously these aren't spoilers, like The Odyssey was written
so
a very, very long time ago, thousands of years. You've had a lot of time to figure out what happens. But, the way they did the Trojan horse was really cool.
Was so cool. And, like, I feel like
I've always unexpectedly, like,
thought the Trojan horse was kind of like a cheesy myth where it's like the depictions of it are usually like this big wooden horse on like wheels. And it's like, okay, like that obviously looks like a disguise and is really stupid.
Yeah.
But I felt like this was a really cool depiction that made it feel like, oh, this actually looks like a peace offering and like looks like something that would be like a token to a god rather than like a rocking horse on wheels.
Yeah. And I agree. And I think that was cool. I also think that, I don't know, like just the way that they played out what it would be like to be inside of that structure was very, and, we won't
alarming.
say too much about it. You can watch it, but it was really powerful and crazy. Yeah. So I did like that as well. I thought that was pretty good as well. Yeah,
because that was like a thought I had at the beginning, or like even in watching trailers where it's like, okay, this horse is like wedged into the sand and there's a tide. Like, how are they fucking sitting in there? But then they did address it in the movie, which I thought was very thorough. Yeah. I mean, Christopher Nolan, he's like, if nothing else, he's very thorough.
He's thorough. I will say this. So now getting into some of the things that I feel like these were my immediate thoughts. And then I have done some like, I guess some light research. I have been trying to stay away from like opinion pieces on the Odyssey just because I don't want it to like, before we talked about it on here, I didn't want it to sway me too much. But the thing that like really bothered me at first, and I told you this like when we walked out of the theater, was I just did not love the Instagram face of it all.
Oh, yeah.
I really felt that there were too many big name actors. And so instead of it feeling like an immersive film that I was watching, it felt like I was watching a big A-list actors play.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the parts. And I think that there are some that did a really great job. And it's not necessarily that they were bad. It's just that they're so 2026 A-list actors. And they just really did not at all immerse me in the world.
Yeah, I agree. I think I didn't find the Matt Damon Botox thing as bothersome as you seemed to.
But did you find...
But Charlize Theron was like... Yeah. That was bad.
So this is interesting. Charlize Theron, I felt was bad, right? I felt Charlize Theron was bad.
Her acting was bad. Her face is just way too modern for this.
The writing of her character was also bad.
Yeah.
What
was the point of her?
Okay, so this is one of my things is I have really been thinking about it, and I just feel that Christopher Nolan like just can't write women. And the only interesting woman in the entire show, like the entire film, was Cersei. I think that like
Penelope was good.
Yes, but she was very confusing to me as a character because I feel like I'm watching her and like she's acting as this like, oh, I'm holding out for my husband. Like I'm truly in love. I'm devoted. But then in some of the conversations, like, why can't a woman sit on the throne? And then it's like, and then there's these like moments of tension with Robert Pattinson's character. And it's like, okay, are you lonely? Are you, and I understand that there's multifaceted. I just feel that like she wasn't written very well. And then, like, okay, like her servant, that moment of betrayal is supposed to be like it's a big deal that like her one servant that's like working for her is betraying her. And it's like glossed over. Like the things that are these moments of like treachery or loss or whatever are just like 5 seconds of mention and then they're passed over.
I think
I didn't like that.
Part of it is like, if it had been made into like a 2-part movie, for one, everyone would be mad. But it was already like a 3-hour long movie. So I think that a lot of the nuance gets kind of moved over because like, I feel like in Batman, he handled all of those kinds of things really well, but it's a 3-part series.
Sure.
So like, I think that he does a lot better with adaptations if he has more time to draw them out and like follow each individual narrative. Well, yeah, because also a ton of characters for him.
But let's say this. I do think, why did we get all of that 20 minutes in the film of Agamemnon and we can't have like a character arc of a woman? I just feel like that's interesting. Also, Odysseus is so flat. Like Matt Damon's Odysseus is so flat because not only do I feel like the face throws me off, but Odysseus is just from having studied it in like high school and college, Odysseus is a very complex character because at the end of the day, while he is this hero on the hero's journey, he's very flawed and he has a lot of pride. And so he makes decisions that aren't necessarily the best decisions because of his pride. And like one of the things is in the epic, he spends a year with Circe. Like Circe kind of likes him and he takes this drug that's from Hermes. Like the gods are very involved and the gods are missing in this adaptation, which is an interesting choice that I'm not super...
Yeah, I do think that's weird.
It's very weird. I will get to that in a second because that's something that's been bothering me and I've been thinking about it a lot. But like specifically like Circe becomes like a love interest of Odysseus. And like Calypso is like... there's these moments where like he's not just faithful and trying to get home and like a good guy leading his men. And I feel the only time that we even see this, like why would he do that, is when he's escaping the Cyclops. And we get like a hint of that, but it's so fast and it's so
when he's
rationalized.
escaping the Cyclops and then he gets the prophecy where they say he's going to have to choose between the whirlpool or the scary thing. So he also has that like point of conflict.
Sure, but I think that's what happens is like he decides that like he kind of tricks them into doing that. Like he's just put up as this one-dimensionally good character. I don't feel
I agree.
Yeah, and like that is one of the things is we're just not faced with like him making any sort of contrarian like choices, which he does in the epic over and over and over and over again. And I feel like, you know, so that's kind of hard to watch. I additionally feel that it would have been better cast like people off the top of my head that I think would have done better are like, I think that even like Russell Crowe, I think could have been a better Odysseus. I think that
really old now.
Hugh Jackman. No, I think they're like, he's not that old. Even if you're gonna pick somebody that's in this like a hot guy Hollywood, I think Brad Pitt would have done a better job. But like, yeah, that's my personal opinions, and I think that casting Matt Damon is just such a weird choice, and it feels
I agree.
So...
I think it's a weird choice. I agree that Odysseus should have had like more nuance to his character and like more facets to his character.
It just makes it kind of boring. Like
I feel like he focused so much on the like atrocities of war part of it that he lost a lot of the like characterization of each person. And like I haven't actually read any like discourse from him, so I don't know what his
that's another thing though, is why focus so much on the atrocities of war if you're not going to show and have these moments of atrocities of war. I feel that it was like very clean, like we were seeing like, oh, they're running in, but we're not seeing those big battle scenes in the same way that we're seeing them in like Troy. And I think that there were moments that
what do you mean?
I don't know, like the movie Troy has a lot more of those. Well, actually, I do know why this is.
In the location, Troy.
No, it's because of the camera.
Yeah.
So the type of camera that they were using.
I don't think it's necessary to like be gory to show atrocities for. Like I feel like we do get that, and it's more of a psychological thing than it is like a visual thing where it would be like very graphic and gory. Instead, like in Penelope, we do see like her grief and her anger and like her loneliness, and like also besides just the anger at like her husband leaving her like to fend for herself in this kingdom, she's also angry that she's not allowed to be the one who has the power.
Yes, but also why are we goes back to the writing thing, which is like I feel that what happens though is like, okay, let's take that as an example. I think that's true. We had this really interesting part where like, right, Penelope at night is unweaving the weaving, right? So that she doesn't have to get remarried, to like maintain her power, to protect her son, to protect her kingdom, to wait for Odysseus. And instead of us, the audience, being given the ability to like see that happening, to be shown that this is what she's doing, that like this is how she's ruling, we are just told that she's ruled. We're just told that like she's not making any decisions, she's not doing anything. And then the way that we find out that she's doing that is that like Robert Pattinson catches her in this lie and like embarrasses her and like uses it to shame her. Like why are we seeing it from that perspective? It's just so bizarre to me that I feel like there are these powerful moments that happen in the show, but we're shown from such like a weird perspective.
Understood that she's unraveling it. I assume that most people have a basic knowledge of the Odyssey.
But I don't think they do. I think we're in the midst of a literacy crisis.
That sounds like a them problem. But, like, having already known that that's what she was doing, like, I don't need to see that that's what she's doing every night. And I think it is a, like, jab to be like, that's what you're doing, and I caught you. Yeah. More than it is, like, her cinematically unraveling her weaving every night.
Yeah, I guess I would just have rather been shown things. Like, I think for the same amount of time that 30-second part took. I would have rather seen it and not had somebody like just say it, because I feel like that's what was happening a lot. Was I felt like the visuals were great, and Christopher Nolan should have hired screenwriters. And additionally, I understand about the like IMAX and the film camera and the blimp thing that was around it, which if you guys don't know, they had to like create this, essentially it's like a blimp that covers the camera because it's so loud, and then they can only film for like 2 to 3 minutes at a time before having to change all the film. So each scene that you're seeing is like cut, and they're not these long scenes. And I felt, to me, during the movie, I felt like that was so jarring, and it felt what's the word, stilted.
Yeah.
And that was an issue for me. And I just think that I understand that the technology is interesting, but for me, the limitations that camera had made it so that, I guess on a positive side, I don't even want to call it a positive, just I see it. It's like, it's kind of like watching theater in a way, because you're from this like single vantage point. There's not a whole lot of motion with the camera. There's a lot of motion happening in front. But additionally, I just don't think that I liked it as much.
Yeah.
There's a spider.
Oh, God. Micah!
Micah, there's a spider!
Micah!
Help!
He gone.
You gone?
Yeah, or her. Who knows?
Scary spider gone.
Intermission.
A couple more things I didn't like. I just think, why Travis Scott? Why couldn't we have a different rapper at the beginning? I didn't
even recognize him. I don't know anything.
The very
about
first
Travis
person
Scott,
you see
except
is
that
Travis Scott. Astro World. We forgot about Astro World.
No, that's the only thing I know about him. That is literally the
I'm
only
like,
thing
why
I know
can't
about him.
we could have used like unknowns or like relative unknowns. Like, I don't know. I feel like those were all issues for
Drake.
me. Yeah, no, I don't think Drake, but I just think like a lesser known. I made some notes. I'm just making sure. Let me think. Let me look at this. Underworld scene was great. The Cyclops scene was great. Cersei, I think, deserves an Oscar. Same with the guy who plays the blind guy. The dog part's very sad.
Didn't like that.
Very sad. It did upset me, but I know that it's part of the story. It's okay. Okay, vibes. I didn't like the way they handled the gods. I feel that either they should have committed to the gods aren't real, and it was just like our human being, like it was trying to erase the war, like doing all this stuff. It was all in our heads. It was human all along, because that's kind of what happens with the Athena part. And like Athena's not so involved. The gods aren't there. I feel like they should have just leaned into like the gods aren't real, but so much of what happens is the gods are real. And so I think that if the gods are real, the gods are real, and if the gods aren't real, then what Christopher Nolan was trying to do with Athena kind of falls short to me.
I hadn't really thought of it as gods aren't real until you just said that, but I do think that it does read that way, like, pretty effectively. Like, I think even if they are trying to justify and they're like, oh, well, the Cyclops was a son of Poseidon, that's why we're having such a shit time. It's like, that doesn't necessarily have to be, like, true that it's Poseidon. They could just be having shit weather. So, like, I do think that is actually more effective than
it's like Apollo, like they get the prophecy about eating Apollo's sheep, and then the crew has to die. And
yeah, but Apollo never actually showed up.
I don't know. I feel that it is an integral part, and I think that's what it is like, I feel
like the sheep thing is kind of a morality thing.
Potentially. I don't know. I feel that I don't... I mean, I think in the Odyssey, indisputably, the gods are real.
Yeah.
And I think that creating a new version, I don't think that he did enough to make me feel like it's the version where the gods aren't real. And I think that it could have been done. I just don't think it was. And so I think that part kind of bothered me. And then I said the camera, Travis Scott, really. Oh, and then Telemachus's, like Tom Holland's character's story arc.
Yeah.
In the novel,
he's that good.
So what's supposed to happen is that he goes on his own journey to become a man, right?
Yeah.
But then by having essentially Odysseus like rescue him, and then him at the end with the suitors, like he's supposed to be fighting side by side. Like they have this thing together where he's holding his own in the same way Odysseus is, not like, oh son, let me take care of you. And Christopher Nolan for some reason just decided to like not do that, and it felt very weird then to have him like take over the crown because he didn't earn it. And like that does happen in the epic, and it's very odd that like he just erased that part of the narrative, because that is a very crucial part of like how that story ends, and like why it's okay that Odysseus is going to leave, because Telemachus has become the king himself, and like they just got rid of that. It was very strange to me, and I just didn't like that part. I did like Anne Hathaway. I do feel that she was more acty than like Matt Damon. Like they had no chemistry, and when they were on scene together, I remember she slaps him, and I was like, I felt like she's in this role. She's just like, and he's just like this, like he's so not there in the scene with her.
Like I feel like Zendaya and Anne Hathaway are such strong actors, and they have such a like strong range of like what they can play, and they're very suited for classical. They're very suited for modern. They can pretty much do anything, right? Whereas like Matt Damon and Tom Holland are very modern actors, like Spider-Man and whatever the fuck Matt Damon is in. Yeah. So, and like, I feel like Robert Pattinson killed it. He was really good.
Robert Pattinson killed it for sure.
And he's like a little weird man.
Does that type of role so well. Yeah. And I love watching him play that stuff. But I will say that, like, I do feel Zendaya criminally underutilized. Same with Mia Goth. Both of them criminally underutilized for the lack of, like, women that are in that. I'm just saying, like, for how many random suitors got, like, a 5-minute scene kicking that dog, like, we could have had. Yeah, we could have had something. I just feel there's about 20 minutes worth of female stories missing from the movie that would have made it 100 times better. Like, even the sirens, we just see them on a rock.
I wish there was more sirens, I felt like that was
It's just a man's story. It's a man's story through and through. And we just are given almost no female perspective. And it's just, as a story that is the hand of the story, the crux of the story, is that Odysseus is in conflict with Athena. That this is the main struggle, is Odysseus and Athena not letting Odysseus get home. To erase women is so crazy to me. I don't know. And I just feel that I hope sometime in the future we get a version that is more female-led and has a stronger female storyline. Let's get the opposite, because I find that all of their parts are the most interesting. Like,
I agree.
Like, did you know that the Cersei, it's not CGI? They used like puppet stuff.
Cool.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, that's one thing. Okay, so I think the reason that I really like Christopher Nolan is less for his ability to effectively tell stories and more for his ability to like do cool shit. Yeah. And that's what he's also interested in.
He should be directing, and we need to hire like two writers.
Should be writing.
We just need a writer in there.
But like he does everything by practical effects. Like the giants were just gigantic people.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like everything he does is practical, and I think that's just so cool and like so uncommon now.
I like the way that the guy that plays Agamemnon is like very small, and like the fact that they made him like that was so crazy with all the armor and stuff. Yeah. That was insane. I really liked that.
So like I feel like Christopher Nolan's strengths are really in like effects and
visual storytelling.
Very much. Like he's really good at creating an immersive world with like lots of small details, like when I mentioned the Cyclops, like they had elephant noises for the Cyclops because historically that's what they think that like ancient people were referencing, or like they had seen an elephant skull which only has like one hole there, and they thought that it was a giant person with one eye. And like so to kind of translate that is just like such a cool small detail that like I feel like most people wouldn't catch, but is like the kind of shit that Christopher Nolan always does, where it's like, is this relevant? Does it actually matter? No, but it's a really cool detail. Yeah. And like, I will definitely give you that he sacrifices, like it should not be in sacrifice of the story and the overarching like tale. Yeah. I agree with that. Like he should be able to hold both of those. I don't know if like at this point in time, I feel like he used to be a lot better at that. And then now, like, with the way the economy and capitalism and, like, timelines and everything are, stuff gets neglected.
I just feel he needs to be held accountable. Like, we need a Christopher Nolan film where you have, like, real writers in the room writing. Yeah. And I think that then that's how you're going to make something that is worth watching for 3 hours for 50 years. Like, you know what I mean? True. And I think, unfortunately, this didn't do that. But we do have to... You know, as people, I think we need to be critiquing art because it's never going to get better if we don't. And yeah, and I agree that it's like, it's almost hard because I'm like, what it could have been is right there. It's right there.
Need like an extended Lord of the Rings version.
Yeah. With like a female writer that comes in and does the thing. Okay, well, these are our thoughts on the Odyssey. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is me telling you Reddit stories.
Oh, right. Okay.
I have found 2 crazy Reddit stories this week and they haven't been posted this week. These are just from Reddit. They have a lot of engagement, and you may have heard them, but I'm thinking that you didn't. I think I
read a lot of Reddit stories.
Okay. This one is called "Someone at Work Stole My Chair, so I had them arrested." I just feel like you're really going to vibe with this one. I got a new job in sales working for a company that sells access control systems, CCTV systems, etc. The chair in my cubicle was uncomfortable as fuck. So, one day I bring in my own Herman Miller Aeron chair. On day 4, it was missing. I looked around and another sales rep was sitting in it. I asked for it back, but he basically told me to fuck off. I went and spoke to the owner of the company.
Is this person a woman?
No, this is a woman. This is a man. Okay. It says that their username is Left Jeff.
Okay. I was going to say, like, of course that fucking happened, but also, of course, that happened anyways.
I went and spoke to the owner of the company. He told me that the chairs aren't reserved. They are just first come, first serve. But I explained I explained that I owned the chair, and it cost me $1,800. Yeah. He told me that I needed to come in earlier if I want that chair. The next day, the same guy was sitting in it when I got to the office. I told him to give it back or I was going to call the cops. He refused, and so I called the cops. It was quite the scene, but in the end, he admitted that he took my $1,800 chair. I was prepared. I had the receipt, which also showed the serial number. Yes, Aeron chairs have serial numbers. Yeah. They asked me if I wanted to press charges. My new boss said I would be terminated if I had him arrested, so I said, absolutely, I want to press charges. My new boss fired me on the spot, so I carried my chair out with me. That's wrongful termination. Well, yeah, probably.
Okay.
So I carried my chair out with me while I was leaving. And yes, the cops did arrest the guy who took my chair. He admitted to it. The dude who took my chair has been in the industry for about 15 years, and he's going to lose his security license, which means he won't be able to work in the industry.
Oh my God.
He's also going to lose his job, but I don't give a shit. He shouldn't have stolen my chair. Am I the asshole for making this dude lose his job?
100% would do again. That's so funny.
I felt like I was reading this and I was like, this is exactly how you would handle it. I would have been like, I'm going to show up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get my chair. No. And I feel like you're just like, I'm going to fucking call the cops.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck you, man. Like, that's my fucking $2,000 chair.
I like to say, if you're DMing the myth makers, you're getting me. And if you're mean, then you're getting Minji. And if you're getting Minji, like, you're probably...
You fucked up.
Yeah, you're not coming to the event. Because I feel like that's what happens. Is if people are mean to me, I have to send them to HR
and guess
over
what?
here.
Like, I'm not going to get fired. We're the owners.
We're the owners. Yes, but it's like I feel like I'm so people pleasing in that way where I will try everything in my power to make something right. But if somebody starts just being mean to me for no reason and like won't take no for an answer.
Oh my God, wait, I have to tell you. Okay, so like I like spicy food, right?
Yeah.
My roommate right after college, the one who ended up owing me like $1,500 in rent, right?
That's the one.
Uh-huh. I used to make guacamole a lot. Okay. And she would always eat my fucking guac. Without fail. Like, I would go to work. She refused to work anytime that wasn't between, like, 11 and, like, 3.
Okay.
She tried to work at Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, and...
Oh, I remember you told me this. She didn't want to go in early.
She wouldn't go in early, so she got fired from Dunkin' Donuts. Who gets fired from fucking Dunkin' Donuts? Whatever. So, she's home all fucking day, right? So, like, I have to go to school. I have to go to work. I leave my guac in the fridge, and every time I fucking come home and I've just made a new fucking batch of guac, she's eaten it, right? So I started just dumping cayenne pepper into it. Like so much that it was brown.
Yeah. And then she stopped eating it.
She stopped eating it.
Yeah.
She would be like, oh my God, your guac is so spicy. I don't understand why you like spicy food so much.
Like, and I don't understand why you're eating my guac.
I don't know. I just think it's really great. It just tastes good.
It's okay. I had roommates that would like take my stuff and break it. And then when everybody moved out eventually and they left me to like, I was the last person and I had to clean up everything in the apartment. It was not a good situation. Mm-hmm. I found like a cabinet where they had like broken all my stuff, like my favorite mug or like my dishes. And then they had taken Scotch tape and like taped them back together and then hid them in the back of this closet. And so like when I opened it up and I started pulling them out, there's just all the pieces that were Scotch taped together. It was
what the fuck?
Pathological, man. It was crazy.
That's so weird.
Yeah, and I used to have a really hard time where people would like use my stuff or like break my stuff, ruin my dishes, eat my food. So I was definitely that person that would just like buy. When you said that, I was thinking, oh, I would have just bought a mini fridge and started like putting it in my bedroom and locking the door. Like, but I know that's unreasonable. That's how I used to deal with it, was like moving everything into my bedroom, being like, don't come in. Like,
No.
Yeah, that was my vibe. All right, I have a second one for you.
Make it so unpleasant for them to do the bad thing anymore.
This is a bad wedding story.
Okay.
I just thought I would tell you because it's fun. I work weddings. This one does seem pretty bad. It's not the worst that I've heard, and I'm just going to tell you about this one, though. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
So, this was a little less than a year ago. It says, my childhood best friend's wedding was the worst.
Okay.
It's labeled as tacky.
Okay.
I was a bridesmaid in my childhood best friend's wedding. I wasn't expecting it to be such a shit show, but it was the worst 24 hours of wedding festivity I have ever experienced. She was not a bridezilla at all and let us choose our dresses in the color she chose, which was great. My parents were invited, as was my family, husband and kids, but since we lived 8 hours away, I opted to go with my mom and dad and leave my kids and husband at home. Reasonable so far. So my dad drove me and dropped me off at the hotel the night before the rehearsal, and I rode to the venue with another bridesmaid. We were supposed to stay at the venue the night before the wedding, since it was about 40 minutes outside the city and in the middle of nowhere. We did the same thing with my sister's wedding, so this isn't, like, totally out of the blue. Okay. I got to the rehearsal lunch, and it was on the lawn outside of the venue, and there was a potluck set up. Okay, that's fine. I get it. Not everyone has a huge budget. We do the rehearsal and eat this weird potluck meal, and then the bride says to all 6 bridesmaids, don't forget to make yourself a plate for dinner and go put it in the fridge. I was immediately taken aback, but...
Wait, potluck, like, everybody brought food? Or,
Yeah.
like, did she bring fruit?
No, but it sounds like her family, the bride's family, probably made a potluck-style thing, and then they ate the food.
Okay. Gotcha,
and then
gotcha.
the bride instructs the bridesmaids to make leftover plates for dinner for this wedding weekend extravaganza. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Where am I going?
mean, like,
I was
as a general potluck thing, sure. As a wedding,
a little weird.
That's
and this is a
kinda
rehearsal.
strange.
So they had a rehearsal of the ceremony with a potluck, which is fine. Just that. I mean, it's a little weird, but like, okay, that's DIY. But then the bride, without telling anybody that this was happening, is like, all bridesmaids, since you're staying on site, I need you to make dinner plates for later because we're going to be eating leftovers. Which the girl was like, okay, weird. All right, that night we were supposed to be having a bachelorette party. So I was expecting that we're going out, or at least we're going to order a meal in. But instead, we just had funky potluck leftovers. Okay, fine. It's one meal. I'm moving on. Then we all have to help set up tables outside. And my friend says, I need you guys to make your bouquets and prepare food for tomorrow and iron the tablecloths and set up chairs and tables. So we spent 6 hours working our asses off, and my back was screaming after ironing these cloths with her sister. Again, I get the budgets can be tight, but there was no warning that we were going to be put to work. And I was in a mini dress and heels doing hard labor and moving furniture. Her husband-to-be and his all his white trash friends left right after the rehearsal and stayed in a hotel and got trashed. Not a scrap of help from them. So all the guys leave, and all the bridesmaids are put to work. Come 8 p.m., we're all exhausted, but we rallied and ate our crusty potluck food while the 7 of us shared a solitary bottle of champagne. It was nice to catch up and chat. The morning of the wedding, we all got dressed and did our makeup, and then the other bridesmaids started freaking out because they didn't know how to do their hair, and the bride said we all needed to try to do something different with our hair. As a mom of 2 daughters, I stepped in and did the hair of 4 bridesmaids, but then I had to scramble to do my own before the ceremony. The bride had a hairstylist and a makeup artist come in. If she had offered, I gladly would have paid to have mine done, but she did not offer that to us. The ceremony was fine, but I was just ready to go home. Then we get to the reception, and they brought in a barbecue food truck to provide the food, which was forgettable, and then they had a bar, but I was told that we had to pay for our own drinks. Again, okay, that's fine.
Everybody or just the bridesmaids?
Everybody.
Oh, okay.
Everybody has to buy their own drinks. That's fine. I'll buy my own damn Pinot Gris. Then I see the groomsmen getting progressively more tanked, and they are at the bar every 5 minutes. I asked the bride, what was up with that? And she said, oh, new husband paid for his groomsmen to have an open bar. Neat. These dudes are being so nasty, and it was throwing the vibes off massively.
Wait, she should have made friends with one of the groomsmen and been like, hey, go get me a drink.
I mean, yeah. But she has a husband, and kids. Like, she might be older. It sounds like she's older.
My stepmom would have done it.
I don't know.
Would have been like, oh my God, you guys are so handsome. Do you want to help me?
Okay. The
Like, I feel like she
bridesmaids
could've.
and I danced and enjoyed ourselves as best as we could with our self-purchased drinks. And then finally, it's time for the bride and groom to leave. A huge limo rolls up and the bride is shocked. Where am I? She says to me, "Oh my God, my parents said they had a surprise for us." She then informed me that since I had moved away, her mom and dad had become multi-millionaires.
What?
Because they had invested in properties all over town, so they could actually afford the limo. I asked tactfully if they had been the ones who paid for the wedding, and she said, "Oh yeah, all of it. They're loaded." Could have fooled me. The bride and groom rode away, and then her parents came up to the wedding party and said, "It's time to tear down." The groomsmen were blitz and slinking away, and the other bridesmaids and I were so pissed, I finally just said no. I had my parents there at this time, so I hopped into their car and I hightailed it out of there. It was the worst wedding I have ever been to, and it made me so angry to find out that her parents are loaded and they just didn't feel like paying for their youngest child to have a nice wedding. She's somehow still married to her husband, but I hate him so much. They came to visit my family once a few years ago, and he kept pulling my dog's tail, which confirmed my suspicion that he's just an asshole. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this story. It felt good to get it off my chest. Remember, folks, if you can't pay for help on your special day, don't be an asshole. Or if you can pay for help on a special day, don't be an asshole and cheap out. It's crazy.
What?
I mean, I feel bad because I know that at my wedding, I asked people to, like, come and help me set up the tables, but I sent that message, like, months in advance, and I was like, I'll get everybody dinner. It's going to be, like, 20 minutes, and there's, like, 50 of us. Like, you know, I can't imagine just having the 6 bridesmaids, though, you know, I've been to some weddings
I think
where...
I just showed up.
Yeah, I have been to some weddings where even I've been the person steaming the tablecloths and doing the things. Yeah,
Absolutely
it happens.
the fuck not.
I know. I'm a photographer, but sometimes photographers end up having to be other things.
I'm glad you did not ask me to come help set up because I was wrangling everybody at my house.
I think you were there maybe for a second.
I don't think I was.
The night before we had that dinner, and in between that, remember we all went to the venue for like 5 seconds. It was really quick.
Okay.
It was like a 15-minute excursion, not a 6-hour excursion. I would never ask bridesmaids to do that. And then thankfully everybody helped at the end of the reception because I hired a team to break down and they left, remember?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that happened to me on my wedding day. I had like a 150-person wedding and I DIY'd most of my decor.
Yeah, I'm not having a wedding unless we're fucking rich.
Yeah, absolutely not.
No.
I wish that I hadn't done this, but I thought it would be really cool to collect art from like everywhere, estate sales, whatever. And then since the wedding was a fine art theme, I was like, I'm going to bring all the art in my house. And I have like a gallery wall and I have all these like places for art to go and all this stuff. And I'm going to bring it all. And it was all organized and whatever. And then my decor team was supposed to pack it up, put it in the boxes and load it into the U-Haul. And instead, like in the middle of, you know, the last half an hour of dancing, they came up to me and they were like, "We're heading out." And I was drunk and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then they left and they didn't help me break down, and they had thrown my art like in these bins and like ruined it. Like I have like a Rembrandt master copy and like it has like a big like chunk missing from it.
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh yeah, like bad. It was so bad. And then my desserts were like put in the wrong boxes and I got really severe food poisoning because I'm allergic to eggs and like, oh my gosh, it's just a whole thing. And
Did you say something to them?
I did. And like technically there's like 3 teams that are working together. So it's like the venue team, the planning team, and the catering team. And like no one would take responsibility. And I was just like,
Okay, then you're all paying for it.
yeah, it was just crazy.
Great.
They didn't pay for it and it was what it was. And it just sucked. So I definitely learned my lesson. And like, you know, I think it's easier too because like we host events and when we do them, we can kind of be in charge of who's unpacking or what we're packing. But that's also why I feel like for some of our themes, I'm like, I have probably another truckload of things I could bring, but I'm just not willing to bring them to a public event anymore.
Yeah.
People were also stealing decor from my wedding.
What?
Yeah. So like one of my guests came up and they were just like, "Do these belong to you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Oh." And then they like opened their bag and started like taking the decor out and they were like, "Oh, we thought it belonged to like the catering company.
What?
We were gonna steal it." And I was like,
Why?
It's from my house, my
But
dude.
also, even if it belongs to the catering company,
know.
you're going to get charged for
I
it.
know.
What the fuck?
I know.
Who was this?
it was just a person.
Oh
that
my God,
knew from
I
my
want
past.
name and shame.
I can't name and shame.
Can
but
you name and shame and Micah can
did-
bleep it out? I want to know.
I'll tell you in the future.
right.
But yeah, it was a person that you don't know them.
Okay.
They're from out of state.
That's
but
insane shit.
Yeah.
Who does that?
It was really crazy.
That's fucking crazy
yeah,
shit.
I know. But people do that all the time. People do that all the time. Like I'll be at weddings and people will like steal things that belong to the catering company, like goblets Like, some people, like, will take them as a souvenir. Like, they have, like, a glass from every venue they've been to as a guest. Like, yeah, people are so crazy. You see some weird things in weddings. I would say top things I see in weddings, people choose, and to be fair, I did this too. People choosing people to give speeches that should not, they have no business giving a speech.
Yeah, your dad was bad.
Yeah, I made the mistake of having my dad give a speech.
You're like kind of estranged from.
I would say I'm like 99% estranged from.
I think at the time you were a little less estranged from him, and now since then, because he fucked up so bad, you've been more estranged from him.
I will say that it was just I was in such a good mood, and then he kept coming over and saying nice things, so I decided to give him like a 2-minute toast, and it turned into like a 10-minute crazy ass speech.
So I watched that whole thing happen, and I was like, oh no, Sarah, don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm erasing it from my memory, and it never happened. But I also see people like, there will be best men that give weird speeches that are pretty much just like, I hate this person. And that's bizarre. It'll be like, I hate this person, but that's what love is. Strange. Just because they're related to you does not mean they have to be your best person or give the speech.
Wait, they hate the groom? Or the...
Yeah, like, I've seen best men give speeches, and there'll be like a brother or a cousin or something, and it'll pretty much be like, remember all those times I beat you up and, like, punched you in the stomach, and we would fight, and I'd be like, you're awful, and you're never getting married. Well, here we are, and I guess I was wrong. Cheers to you guys. Your wife's hot. Yeah. Weird. And that happens.
Honestly, I want to see a speech like that.
Yeah.
If you
attend enough weddings, then you will.
If you see a speech like that next time, like you're at a wedding, yes, please record it for me. I want to see. I want to know.
It happens. I've also seen girls give speeches where, I don't know, like sometimes they'll have multiple people give speeches, and then somebody will start giving a speech, and the speech just like doesn't mention the other spouse at all, and it's like, it's very like, what am I ever gonna do without you? And like, or like when you have somebody work your wedding who's in love with you, and like you don't know it, you're not picking up on that. I have seen that happen. Like, somebody steps in to be the planner, and then like throughout the planning process, it's very clear they're in love with one of the people, and then like when the wedding comes,
mean it's very clear.
Oh, it's clear. It's clear.
In what way?
So it'll be a lot of like, oh my gosh, I hate calling people out, but like I've had planners come with my brides to their boudoir shoots, as moral support, to be like, she's the hottest girl I've ever seen, like, oh my gosh, la 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 la. And of course they're always, I will say this, they're always religious. We're always religious. And then at the wedding, they got an attitude. Like, they're like this,
like the
whole day.
Dudes, or they're like...
No, this is like a female planner.
Oh, and they're like secretly in love.
So I've had both. I feel like I've had planners, or like sometimes it's a planner, a friend, a bridesmaid, where I feel like the woman is like, in like, if she was willing maybe to express queerness, she would be interested in this bride. And because she's not, then like it comes out in this very weird, like, I'm like, wow, this is abnormal. Or I've literally, one of the weddings I shot like 4 years ago, the planner throughout the night, so like totally normal till we got there, first thing she says to me is like, oh yeah, I knew the groom, like we went to college together and we were really, really close. And then she just kept drinking, and then throughout the night she got drunker and drunker, and it started to devolve into, everybody always said they thought we were gonna get married, like, yeah, until it became like, I just can't believe that like this is real, this is really happening right now. And that was actually one of the worst weddings I've ever been to, was that wedding. But like, yeah, like that happens. People act crazy at weddings. So I have a lot of stories, but I do protect my couple's privacy. It's just, these are like, those are from so long ago, and I feel like a planner is a different thing. Like, my couples are all super nice, you know. I've definitely had some couples where I've been like, wow, it's a crazy wedding, but you know, it happens. Mostly it's like people get too drunk at their wedding. That happens a lot. Sometimes parents are weird at weddings. That happens a lot. Yeah, that's the vibe. So
that's wild.
Weddings are crazy.
The only way I'm getting married is if I'm rich enough to hire somebody to do the entire thing, and also to run interference. Yeah. And if there's any problems, if anyone's being a problem, I can just be like, whatever, you handle it. Mm-hmm. Not my problem. I'm just here to hang out and eat and look cool.
Okay, guys. So we're officially moving on to our next segment, which we're going to do more segments like this in the future. Ooh. This is going to be our astrology segment. And this week we have decided to each take 6 zodiac signs and make mood boards and talk a little bit about how we would style these Venus placements. So we're going to take 6 Venus placements each. Your Venus placement, you have to put your birth time into like a full astrological chart. I use the Cafe Astrology one, but you can also find them on an app. Like the Pattern app is one of them, CoStar, something like that. Your Venus is always going to be very close to your sun because those are close in the
solar system.
In the solar system, exactly. So it's unlikely you're not going to have a Venus that opposes your sun, but you can have one that is right next to your sun, and that can be a little bit more challenging if it's not ruled by the same planet. So like for me, it's also for you. You also have one right next to. Mm-hmm. So what you ideally want is like if you have a fire sun, you want like a fire or an air Venus, but you might end up with an earth or a water Venus. And there's ways that you can like put those in with your rising and mix it all together and find your piece. But it can be a little bit more challenging to find your specific style. That's something that I've found. I'm a Capricorn sun with an Aquarius Venus. Capricorns tend to be very professional. And while I feel that I do have a very commanding presence, I'm just not very professional on the outside. And it felt very wrong for me to put myself into that box. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is actually my Venus sign.
Wait,
and then we'll go to your Venus sign.
Okay, so like my Venus is in Taurus, but it's like almost in Pisces. I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I do see that.
Which
it's like a cusp.
Is very interesting. Okay,
but that's cool. Gemini.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Taurus, then Gemini.
So you're Pisces right there. Is the other direction, right? I don't know astrology. Sarah's the astrology
Pisces
person.
And Gemini look really similar because Pisces is like 2 curved with a thing through, and then Gemini is like 2 lines. So you still get 2. Pisces is 2 fish.
Well, now I'm interested
Gemini's
in what your
twins.
Gemini looks like.
Yeah, I will definitely let you know. I think that you are a person that maybe should blend Taurus and Gemini elements to like go with your rising is Pisces.
You know, when I was doing research, both Taylor Momsen and Bethany Sutola are Gemini Venuses.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Okay, so we're going to start with Aquarius and we're going to work our way all the way to Capricorn, and we are going to insert mood boards right here for you in post. So I'm going to show you some of my mood board images for what I think an Aquarius Venus should be dressing like, and then I'm going to tell you why, okay?
Okay.
This is the first.
Okay.
I'm going to put these in a mood board for you. I'm going to leave room right here.
Tie
it's right here. Right here. We're looking at like tie skirts. We are looking at bizarre layers that make no sense. Mm-hmm. This is very me. I am an Aquarius Venus.
It's very Erin.
Yeah. I feel like Erin might also be an Aquarius Venus.
Erin's an Aquarius 5 things.
Yeah. I think she's an Aquarius Venus as well. This, I think, also can give Aquarius Venus.
Yeah.
When I look at this, I think that an Aquarius Venus person is most successful when they are wearing things that are odd. When you think, wow, I would have never put that together. I find that for me, as a person who has an Aries rising, so that's a little bit of like silly, goofy guy energy.
Okay.
I tend to do best in like a funny hat and a whimsical character persona. But that doesn't mean that that's what every Aquarius Venus is going to have to be like, because some people are going to have, maybe you're going to have a Virgo rising, right? And if you have a Virgo rising with an Aquarius Venus, then you might be a person who, yeah, you want to do things that are odd, but it's a little bit more muted. It's a little more professional. It's a little bit more polished. It's like more orderly. And so in that case, you might be doing like, oh, I'm like the tie skirt, like something that's odd, but it makes sense in a way, and it's not. It doesn't have to be wacky. You know, it can be like a solid color and still be interesting. Wacky. I mean, yeah, but you can like do interesting things with a suit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that Aquarius Venus is very interesting. Somebody that has Aquarius Venus that I feel like it's very underutilized and I don't like it is Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift has an Aquarius Venus, but I think she dresses like a Capricorn Venus. And I just don't feel that she's using that Aquarius Venus at all. I think that the closest that she gets is this. I'm going to show this picture right here. But it is her Toy Story 5 premiere dress.
Oh, yeah.
Which is unexpected. And I think this is one of the times...
Keep shit.
Yeah, like, it's just cool. Sometimes she'll break out a look that really works. And I feel like most of the time she doesn't. But when she does... It happens. She should be doing something more interesting with her hair and makeup. I get it. She is who she is. I think that she has some other placements that are just very strong. I think she might be a Capricorn rising. I don't know. I get it, but I don't love it. I'm an Aquarius Venus, and I feel that it's been a really big part of just knowing that being an Aquarius Venus means that you are setting trends. You are not following trends. It is a placement where you want to be doing things that are odd. And odd doesn't mean that you have to look wacky or you have to look weird. It just means that, like, it's not what you would see on a mannequin. It's not how everybody else would wear it. And that's okay because it's unique and it's you. And it's best that way. I do not look good when I am dressing exactly the same as everybody. But when I dress weirdly like myself, it works. It works and it's fine. And then I think people look at it and will be like, I would have never thought to wear that way. It works out and it's good. So that's the vibe. Tell me about Pisces Venus.
Okay. I don't know anything about astrology. So this is vibes only.
We're going to show the mood board here.
We're vibes.
This is the Pisces mood board that Minji has created. Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Okay. So Pisces makes me think of flowy, fluttery things. Water. Pisces is water. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pisces is a water sign.
Blue. They're supposed to be dreamy. So I have this girl with the glitter and the stars and shit. Patchwork skirt. Hold on, I'll zoom in. Mm-hmm. That kind of shit. The like circular ruffles I feel like are very Pisces. Just things that kind of look like they could blow away in the wind.
And are ethereal too.
Yeah.
Pisces is ruled by Neptune as
colors.
Well. So
I feel like Firefly Path is very Pisces. Venus
Pisces
to
Venus.
Me.
And I think an interesting thing, if you're a person with a Pisces Venus, I know that you are not, but I will tell you anyways, is that our Venuses really work in conjunction with our sun and our rising. So you might find that you have a Pisces Venus, but you have maybe a more understated or serious rising sign. Like, let's again think about like Virgo, something like that. So you could still bring in this ethereal quality in like the fabrics that you choose. So you could pick like a chiffon over, you know, a cotton or something like that. And it would still have that quality without having to go as whimsical as maybe somebody who has more water placements. Like if you're a Pisces, Venus, Pisces rising, you might want to just fully embrace being an elf at this point. But like, you know what I mean? I think that that's something to keep in mind. I really
had to rein myself in and not just do something really whimsy for everything.
Yeah.
But
it's okay if you do, because my mood boards are very whimsy, but that's why I'm putting in this additional commentary for you guys. So if you're watching this and you feel like this is my Venus sign, but it doesn't really relate to me, you also have to look at the traits of your rising sign. So that's how you want to show up, and then taking sort of the vibes from your Venus sign and putting that with your rising sign is how you're going to end up the most powerful.
I do feel like most of the Venus sign mood boards that already exist are very like clean girl shit. Mm-hmm. So this is a good alternative.
No clean girl shit from us.
We are not clean girl.
I'm going to do Aries Venus, okay? Ooh. So, for Aries Venus, I put together... Let me find it.
Is it red?
It is, but
that's all I got.
It doesn't have to be. I put together something like this.
Oh, that's cute.
I also put together this. So, Rihanna is a very, very famous Aries Venus. I think that she does the best of balancing what I think an Aries Venus should be doing. Just because you're an Aries Venus does not mean you should wear red. Though, you do look really good in powerful colors like red and black and white. So it's about more so making a statement of like power. And so it's like rebellious, it's flirty. I think that it can lend well to like tactical elements, things that are dramatic, hardware, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the way that Rihanna does it is that she usually matches like leather with fur, or she'll match like a big coat, a big boot, and everything else is kind of understated. Or maybe like her whole outfit's black, but her hair is red. So it is very dramatic but it also kind of has this edginess to it that I think is really cool. If you are a person who maybe is an Aries Venus with like a Pisces rising, and Pisces rising is a little bit more sensitive, you might be one of those people that's like, okay, maybe I'm going to wear like a black mini dress and tights and like a big fur coat. That might just be like more, you know, it's cozy and it's fun, but it's not so like aggressively in your face. Meanwhile, if you're like an Aries Venus with a Leo rising, you might be like, okay, I'm wearing literally leopard print leather and like big ass combat boots. And I feel like an Aries Venus is just a person that expresses themselves very boldly. Mm-hmm. And so leaning into that is always going to be great. And if you have placements that are not that, like you might have a very muted, like timid sun and moon, but your Aries Venus, like you are going to find your power by expressing yourself more and allowing yourself to be bold and take up space. Just saying.
I feel like I had more of like a visual, like I I don't have all like the personality kind of things, but like I have very clear visual like silhouettes for each of mine.
Yeah.
But I don't really know any of their personalities.
That's fine though. I'm giving like people a little bit of extra time, so don't worry too much about that. I wanted you to go on vibes, so this is good. Great. And then we move through it and we do the things.
No, I just wasn't saying either way is a bad way.
I just didn't want you to feel bad. Like,
oh no, I don't. I feel like you are a much more verbal person and I am a much more visual person.
It's true.
So,
but it'll be good because we're gonna put.
Yeah, we'll have the visuals.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was your foot.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. So I guess my like silhouette for Pisces was very like wavy, like not a really defined silhouette, but like for Aries, I feel like I would think of the silhouette as like sharp and large.
Yeah.
So,
and I agree with that. Sharp and large. That's why I'm like a big oversized coat.
Yeah.
Like a structured shoulder, leather in any sort of form. I think it's cool. This hat.
Or something. Can you
throw it on there?
I need to take my sweatshirt off.
Of course. Okay, we are going to do Taurus next, and we're going to insert the Taurus mood board right here for you to look at.
Taurus is mine.
Taurus!
I had a Taurus mood board, but I redid it because a lot of the stuff I feel like it's just cringy. It's like old Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande is a Taurus Venus. So is Liv Tyler. So is Lana Del Rey. And like I feel like
okay, but Liv Tyler and Lana Del Rey are doing it right, and Ariana Grande is fighting her nature.
Yeah.
So Ariana Grande is dressing like a Cancer Venus.
Okay.
And we just need to like accept the fact that that's what she's dressing like, and I don't know why she's doing it. She would be better if she wasn't, but she is.
Yeah, I feel like her Met Gala, like Heavenly Bodies, was very good.
There are occasional times when she touches on it, but I would say she mostly dresses like a Cancer Venus.
She dresses like baby. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have Liv Tyler on there, and she's so beautiful. Her like flowers in her hair.
Liv Tyler is exceptionally Taurus Venus.
Long, pretty hair. Yeah. Bethany Ciatola's whole vibe, I feel like, is very Taurus Venus, where she's got like all the long layers of like lace and whatever shit from Free People. It's always Free People. Just generally like a lot of texture and like different textures. So like lace and satin and brocade, whatever.
And like cozy and earthy too.
Yeah.
I see that in your board here.
So this is from Camelot. I think it's Guinevere's costume.
Okay.
And it's got like the earthy colors and like brocade and shit. And then like also this kind of like flowy stuff that is like, that would be a really not uncomfortable dress to wear, but is also very pretty and has a lot of texture and a lot of detail.
Yeah.
And then I liked that one. And that's it. That's all I had.
I think it's fun because Taurus Venus is a really beautiful and positive placement to have. So, for instance, like my Venus is in Aquarius, right? But Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. But your Venus is in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by
Venus.
Woo! So it's at home. And it's really nice because I think that it's just Taurus, Venus people are naturally very attractive and magnetic, and they're very good at curating things that they like.
That's my favorite thing to do.
And I think that's really beautiful. And also they're really into like skincare, self-care. Like I think part of it is that Taurus is like very in the body. And so like having that sort of idea of like, oh, my hair is really well taken care of. Like I'm very healthy and I'm very like calm and peaceful. That is a big theme throughout Taurus Venus, which I think you also do with like Bethany Ciatola. Like I think just the way that, and like Liv Tyler, I think it's this presence of like showing up with like peace and self-care and comfort. Yeah. But it's also this incredibly beautiful, like, oh my God, you're freaking Arwen. You know what I mean? Like it's insane. So it's a really wonderful Venus placement to have. And again, if you're a person who has maybe a opposing rising sign, something that is a little bit more difficult to use with the Taurus Venus, just know that like you can always lean into self-care and just like ways of like kind of bringing your style inwards in a way that feels really authentic to you, and I think that can help. So
okay, so my rising is Pisces. Does that go with Taurus?
Yes. So earth and water always go together.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it would be like if you were a Aries rising, that would be difficult with your Taurus.
Taurus
Venus.
is like my only earth sign.
Yeah. Not bad though. Well, you have Capricorn too.
Do I?
Yep.
Okay.
Because the
generational ones?
We have planets on each other's planets.
Okay.
Yeah. Somewhere in there, I think. Okay. So my next one is going to be Gemini. I did look up celebrities who have this Venus, and here is my mood board. I'm going to put it right here.
I got to pay attention.
I forgot to make my mood board and give it to you, but it's okay because I wrote down my things, and I'll put the mood board here for Minji to see. People who are famous who have a Gemini Venus: Megan Fox and Cher.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I think that, so Gemini is ruled by Mercury. That's just the planet of communication. And I think that a lot of people fall into this trap of Gemini being like, oh, there's like so much duality. Like you can pull off anything. You could be like super casual, super dressy. Okay, yeah, that's all true. Whatever. Geminis are very versatile people. I get it. I think that if you're dressing for a Gemini Venus, then you want to wear conversation pieces. So like something that someone might come up to you and ask, where did you get that? How did you make that? Because at the end of the day, Gemini does rule communication. And so if you're showing up in a Gemini Venus, that means people are going to be most attracted to you when you are giving them information. And so it's interesting. So if you wear something like that, people call them chameleons. But if you're like, it's almost like you're telegraphing intent through your outfit. So you don't have to dress in a certain aesthetic, but having like statement pieces or something that someone might come up and be like, what is that? Tell me more about that, is going to be something that's going to help you if you're a person with a Gemini Venus. And I think that that would make you the most attractive, is if you are like either an expert or you have like this ability to tell people about things, and it kind of starts this conversation where you can position yourself as somebody that knows stuff.
With the new information I found about my chart.
Yeah.
Weird.
It is, because I feel like you find yourself somewhere between those two things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super fun. I love it. I'm taking off this hat because my head itches.
That's okay.
Okay, actually it's staying on.
Okay.
All right. Next.
Oh, right. That's me. Okay.
I think it's Cancer.
Yes, it is. All right. Cancer is baby.
Cancer is baby. Ariana Grande dresses like a Cancer Venus. She might have you fooled, but she does.
She's got the cute baby face, so. But yeah, I think she does look better in stuff like that Met Gala dress, like where it's very long. Yeah, so mostly what I've got is like light colors, and I don't know, looks like a baby.
And baby.
Like,
yeah, baby energy.
I don't know. I don't really like the discourse that like baby doll dresses are like for children and stuff, but like they do give kind of a silhouette that is youthful. Like I don't think that Olivia Rodrigo is like pedo baiting by putting herself in a baby doll dress. I completely disagree with that discourse.
Also, it doesn't have to be baby doll. It can be lover girl. It can be like pinks. I think Nadia, our friend the femme Nadia, does a really good job of, she kind of dresses like a Cancer Venus to me. But I think anything like when you look at Ariana Grande and like the Sweetener tour with the little dresses and the ponytails, like
I think
those
also
are things
like
that definitely fit.
The playing with different proportions in a very unique way, that does like, it reads youthful. Like the one that I have here with the wedding dress from Sync, it's like a huge puffy sleeve, and like the rest of the dress is like very, I don't know, if it didn't have those sleeves it would be kind of boring, and it would feel like, I don't know, like I'm going on a brand trip to Greece or some shit. But
also, Cancer is very,
different.
so Cancer is ruled by the moon. It also represents the mother. And so it has this like very feminine approach to it. So like even if you are a person who doesn't identify as femme, but you want to incorporate like the softness of Cancer and like this idea of those like soft, and I think it's just like a feminine energy as far as like the way that it goes. And I think that works out really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super cool. I love it. We're going to also post all of these on the Mythmakers page so that we have all of them with the Venus signs and the mood boards. And we'll separate them. So Minji's will be a post and mine will be a post. Minji's are all really pretty and mine are going to be really chaotic, but that's okay. We're going to move on to Leo.
Ooh.
I
hate Leos. Sorry to anybody who's a Leo. I don't like Leos.
I tend to really like Leos, so that's okay. I'll like you guys and Minji can dislike you and it'll be fine. This is the Leo mood board that I found that I thought was really cool. This is the way that I would dress if I was a Leo Venus, but
Very loud.
have thoughts about this. So when you are a Leo Venus, I find in my experience with astrology that Leo is actually a very self-conscious, self-critical sign. And so when you're looking at the Leo Venus and you are putting yourself out there, I think the best thing that you can do is almost put yourself away and then like try to allow yourself to be seen. Be comfortable being seen. That means like being dramatic, being luxurious. It can also mean that you're focusing heavily on hair care. People with Leo placements tend to have really big hair, really nice hair.
They're lions. Is that why? Okay.
Skincare, glam nails, big lashes, wearing metallics, wearing, like, people will frequently put Leo people in, like, cat prints, but even, like, using cat print as a neutral. Like, I think that when you have a Leo Venus, you really have to be comfortable with being seen. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you most magnetic. You're ruled by the sun. And when you are illuminated, that is when people are going to be most attracted to you. But I find that people that have Leo placements tend to be very self-conscious. And so it is it is a journey for you to embrace that Leo aspect and allow yourself to shine and know that you're worthy of like stepping into that energy, because that tends to be a problem with people who have Leo placements anywhere. So it's good.
I feel like that just directly opposes my personality.
It does.
Which is why I don't like
my
them.
partner has a Leo rising, and that's something we talk about a lot. One of my best friends has like 5 planets in Leo, like a 5-planet Leo stellium.
That sounds horrible.
In their first house. It's hard. So, you know, it's a thing. Okay, we're gonna go next, and this is gonna be Virgo.
All right, Virgo. Okay, I know least about Virgo, I think.
Sure.
So I was just kind of like, I don't know what to. I really just went off of
You
what.
hit it. I think this is a really good idea.
Okay, cool.
This is Minji's Virgo mood board right here.
So all I really like had in my brain for Virgo was immediately I saw this one. I was like, that feels very Virgo to me, and like nothing else in the search felt like it. But like sharp lines, but also like kind of mask. I guess sharp lines can be mask, but I don't know. Maddie, I don't know what her Venus sign is, but like she's the only Virgo that I know of being a Virgo, and she's so like rigid with herself and like with her expectations that I think just kind of influenced how I felt about like what those lines in the silhouette should be, but like also
I think Maddie dresses very Virgo.
Yeah.
If you follow Maddie as Manic, she dresses very Virgo to me. I think that Virgo is ruled. Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury.
Okay.
Gemini is taking order and making it chaos, and Virgo is taking chaos and making it order. And so when we look at Virgo, the idea that they're going to wear things that are a little bit more structured makes a lot of sense. I find that Virgo tends to be a very polished sign. They like things to be right and be in order. And so I think this is a cool way to style a Virgo Venus, because this still has like an edginess and a whimsy to it, but I do think that the pieces you've chosen with like the lacing, not a whole lot of patterns, like tailoring, that's very Virgo to me. And I think that's super cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it's super fun because if you are a person that has a Virgo Venus, but you might have some like a more whimsical rising placement, let's say you're like an Aries rising, that's going to be a difficult one to do, but it's kind of like you want to be loud and playful with the sensibilities of Virgo Venus, which are always going to go back to those sort of like tailored, and like that could even be in the whimsy community. That could just be that you're a person that like sews your own clothes or like wears things that take a long time or are made of materials that are like
fit really well.
Yeah, or like linen, like you're wearing things in a material that like has a process and is difficult to get. It's not fast fashion, you know? And I think all of those things are very Virgo Venus. So
cool.
Very cool. Okay.
Nobody should do fast fashion.
Yeah, no. We're going to Libra Venus now. So, Libra Venuses that are famous. We've got 2 ends of the spectrum here. Madonna and Jennifer Lawrence are both Libra Venuses.
Interesting.
I'm going to say that Libra is an air sign. Libra is also the dual sign that is ruled by Venus. But here's the thing. This is what I believe. I think a Taurus Venus is at home. It's about going in, and it's about figuring out like what self-care for you, like what makes me comfortable. Libra's the opposite. Libra is about going out and saying like, what can I do to fit what everybody else is? Like, where can I fit in? How can I be liked? They really like to be liked, and that is just a thing. So I think it's like the opposite of Taurus. So really, I think that Libra Venuses are very reliant on whatever their rising sign is. That's going to be something that it's really going to polarize you, and I think that's where when you look at somebody like you can go all the way from Madonna to Jennifer Lawrence, which is like opposite sides of the spectrum, and both work, right? I think that they're always going to look pretty and put together. There's something that is attractive about them. Both of them, trendy. They're trendy. Libras are trendy people. If you are a Libra Venus, I recommend that you go on Pinterest, you find a mannequin somewhere. That's probably what you should be wearing. It's just true. I just feel like while I'm a person who, you know, and I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum as an Aquarius Venus, I feel like if I put something on from a mannequin, it's like, why am I wearing? Like, who is that? And it looks like I have not gotten myself dressed. But when you put somebody else in there, they're just, it's like a popular culture thing, and they're very good at like being seen as beautiful while also being like trendy and kind of like with it all. So I don't know, that's the way that I think about Libras. I don't I know it's interesting when I'm saying all that. I feel that it's actually the opposite. Like, they're not, like, attention seeking. So this is the outfit that I pulled for a Libra Venus in a whimsical style. And I think what I'm looking at here is this is not taking too many risks. And it's pretty without being the loudest look in the room. And it's not the most comfortable. It's not the most, like, tailored, but it's trendy. A little bag, a, like, pointed shoe, a slip dress. You know what I mean? And I think that there are ways to make it interesting and to lean into your rising sign. But, like, this, I would say, is, like, a Libra, Venus, Aries rising, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I think that when you're going through being a Libra Venus, it is just good to look at, like, what is trendy, because you're always going to be well liked when you're, like, kind of a friend to all. I just think that's, like, a Libra thing. So
that's so funny.
I know. Every sign's different, so. All right. You're on Scorpio.
Oh, yeah. Scorpio I found the easiest.
Yeah?
I just lots of, like, edgy in black and kind of exhibitionist.
Yeah.
Was my thought for Scorpio.
Sure.
Scorpio.
Mesh. Mesh is a very definitely a Venus Scorpio textile.
Yeah, mesh. This kind of, like, sexy Megan Fox Ren Fair girl. Not actually Ren Fair. Like, lace burnout velvet that's, like, kind of see-through. Taylor Momsen, really, she got me for that. Like, 2014 Taylor Momsen. And then I have a board on my fashion board called Catholic Sacrilege.
Yeah.
And so the little rosary anklet felt very Scorpio. Like, Catholic Sacrilege feels very Scorpio to me.
Absolutely, I think that's true. I think that Scorpio Venus in general is a very interesting placement. It has, like, Scorpio is it's in the 8th house, right? And it has a lot to do with, like, hidden things or secrets, but it also has to do with, like, sex and inheritance and death.
Yeah, I was thinking it feels like Scorpio just feels very provocative.
It is, yeah. And I think that's a cool thing to do. I also feel that people who have Scorpio Venuses, that just comes out. It just comes out. Lean into it. Don't hide it. It's fine. I don't even want to give advice for people who have Scorpio Venuses, because it's probably, like, more powerful than your rising sign. It's just going to come out anyways. And
interesting.
Yeah. Or you're going to end up being a person who looks like one way, but then in private, you're, like,
very different.
Yeah, very different.
Interesting.
Very different. I like that. Okay, I'm going to do Sagittarius Venus. This is my last one. Okay, so... Oh, also, before I get to Sagittarius Venus, I do want to mention the celebrity that's a Libra Venus, Hilary Duff. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that is, like, really weird.
Imagine Hilary Duff in a weird, funky outfit. Weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
But then imagine her in, like, a slip dress with a little heel, and she looks great, and we love her. Yeah. It's just sort of...
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's very commercial. Commercial. Libra is a very commercial Venus sign.
That's very interesting.
Okay, we're at this is, like, my favorite Venus sign, but I don't have it, and I'm sad I don't have it. Sagittarius Venus.
Okay.
2 celebrities that have that, David Bowie and Billie Eilish.
I see.
Yeah. It's strange, but it's worldly, and they do a lot of persona dressing.
Okay.
So, like, choosing a persona rather than a trend and, like, rocking with it. It's eclectic. Sagittarius has a lot to do with, like, travel. It is at home in the 9th house of, like, travel. And so that can mean that you're influenced by sort of, like, global fashion, or it could just mean that, like, you're influenced by the art and things that are, like, worldly. And so I think that having that show up in your outfits is a really cool way to, like, be Sagittarius. So when I think of it, I think of, like, the outfits that have, like, the fine art on them, stuff like that. Or, like I said, persona dressing. Like, I think Billie Eilish does a really good job of this, of just, like, choosing something, and maybe it's odd, and maybe it's not, you know, her shape, and maybe it's not her color, but she just kind of goes with it. She's like, oh yeah, am I going to wear jorts every day for 100 days straight? I am. And I think that's cool. I think it's cool that she can, like, bring things in with that vibe. And, you know, I'm sure I think she probably has, like, water energy that's somewhere in her rising sign or something.
I think she's a Pisces, just generally.
Makes sense, because I was going to say she's got water sign energy, but I think having a Sagittarius Venus is fun. Sagittarius is not a cardinal sign, so it has a more easygoing energy, and it can kind of blend well with whatever you have as a rising or a sun sign. If you want to, like, lean into that and just have it as it's sort of like the cherry on top. And Sagittariuses are usually very well liked. They're like one of the most popular signs in the zodiac.
Interesting.
And they tend to be, like, artists, and they're very adventurous. So I think just doing things that are connected to that idea of, like, a more of, like, a global idea, or, like, global in general, I think is cool for Sagittarius Venus. That's probably how I would style that.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, last one. My favorite, my Capricorn.
Capricorn.
Yay.
All right. So my Capricorn one was kind of similar to Scorpio, except that it's a lot more structured.
Yeah.
And like larger upper body silhouette. So like shoulder pads kind of thing. This Sansa Stark costume with like, it's not really a shoulder
Stark
pad.
is totally giving Capricorn.
Yeah, okay,
for
great.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Capricorn's also ruled by the devil. And it is the sea goat and people.
Okay.
And it's like boss energy.
I feel
so it
like
makes
all
sense
of
with
this
the shoulder pads.
would look like it could be on like a.
If you were doing the
2000s.
normie version of this, it would be woman in a suit with shoulder pads.
I know. I was thinking like girl boss, but I was like, oh, I fucking hate that. So
no, this is the cool version.
This
and
is
I
like
appreciate
edgy girl
it.
boss.
I appreciate that you're bringing this to the table.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's my
Capricorn placements are very interesting. They can be very rigid, but they are, at the end of the day, if you have a Capricorn Venus, you might just want to invest in some very nice tailored pieces. And not in the same way as Virgo. This is going to be more like
everything
and
on
dramatic.
this board looks so fucking expensive.
I know. Yep. We're talking expensive. Not just like tailored, but like you're investing in a capsule wardrobe that is
This is like
powerful and can all be worn together.
Like a leather armor with tabs jacket.
Yeah.
Like that probably cost her a few $1,000s.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying now if you don't have the budget for it, that's totally okay. I think just wearing things that are... I like to think of Office Goth. Office Goth is very Capricorn Venus.
That was the other thing that I kept coming up with, but I was like, that's too boring. I don't want to do it.
I don't think it's that boring if that's your vibe, and it's cool. I just think that we are kind of trying to put together some mood boards that maybe you're not seeing every time you look for one, which is good. But I do think Capricorn is traditional, and so at the end of the day, if you are not wanting to be super whimsical, you are probably going to end up with like a more traditional, it is kind of like, I don't want to call it girl bossy, but just like power suit vibes. Yeah, it turns out to be a thing. And I think some people, when you're a Capricorn sun or you're a Capricorn rising, you can also fall into the like just dressing like a Capricorn all the time. So knowing your Venus sign is really helpful. Like for me, when I was younger, I feel like I used to dress a lot like an Aries Venus. So I wore a lot of like black and red and like big fur coats. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's kind of the era.
Yeah, I thought I was a baddie, and I was really leaning into my rising sign. But since finding out that I'm an Aquarius Venus and leaning into that, that's when my influencing career like took off. That's when I started modeling. That's when I got this hair, which I feel like is very Aquarius Venus. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel that it makes so much more sense. I feel more free to express myself. And you've naturally been doing the Taurus Venus thing all along, so.
Who knew?
Yeah, I knew. I knew. I think I guessed that you were a Taurus Venus before we found. I was like, you're probably a Taurus Venus. Like, yeah. I feel like you can just wake up and walk out of bed and you just like throw anything on the floor on and then you're like the best dressed person in the room. That's it.
I don't feel like that, but I appreciate that.
You give off that vibe for sure. All right. Our last little thing that we're going to talk about is the garb sale and the future picnics and markets we're up to right now. So, garb sale was good.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit earlier. I wish that it was less crafts.
Yeah.
You were talking about that a little bit if you want to.
Yeah. So I've been going to the garb sale this was my 5th year going, I think. They've been running for 10 years, so I've been going for half as long as they've been going. Wow. That's crazy.
I've only gone for 3 years.
Yeah. So the first couple years that I went, it was a lot more like, I don't know. It was
like a
yard sale, really. And like I was able to get a Maresca dress for like $50 and it's like this silk poet blouse that I gave to Maddie. It's like red. I got that for $5. I was able to just find like a lot of cool shit that have become like staples in my wardrobe for sub $50. And like, that's not really that possible anymore at the garb sale. No. Like, especially if it's any brand that is kind of well known for Ren Fair stuff, like it's not going for anything less than $50 for sure. Mariska especially.
There's also scalpers, which we did have people like tell the organizers about that this year, seeing people like buy all the Maresca and then try to scalp it online in the Maresca groups for like 3 times what they sold it for. So apparently that's being handled, which is nice. Yeah, super cool. I mean, I'm happy I got a couple Maresca pieces, but I do feel that you kind of have to be a vendor to get in there early enough to get some of that stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
Or you have to pay a lot of money for something really nice.
Yeah. I paid a lot of money for some noblesse oblige items, and they are so expensive retail that like I felt like it was still a good deal because I like bought it for under half of what it would normally be. Yeah. One is a vintage piece. So like, but it was so expensive that like an average person who's going to this is not going to purchase it.
Exactly.
I got a gunny for like $80 at like one of the garb sales. That's like fucking unheard of now.
Yeah.
And like I am contributing partially to that because I'm not going to sell like the clothes that I am still emotionally attached to for like as cheap as I would have found them for 5 years ago.
Totally.
Also inflation, I guess.
Yeah.
But
we have been talking about doing a sale, and that's kind of in the works of us looking for a spot, which would be more yard sale adjacent or like a consignment sale that runs for a week or something. I think that I love what the garb sale's doing. We definitely want to go back and vend again. And I think that it's really worth selling at. I think it's worth shopping at. I will say, like we said earlier, like shop both days because there's different vendors both days. And I think that that's something that was
I feel like maybe they
this year.
should have capped attendance at for Saturday and then like encouraged people, like if you can't go Saturday, then you should go Sunday.
Yeah, or made Sunday half price or something.
Yeah.
I just think that there were so many vendors that like really didn't get the shopping experience that all of us got on Saturday, and that really sucked. But I don't know. I mean, we're brainstorming ideas because we do the markets, and there's just such a big desire. Like people want to shop Whimsy. You can't find this at the mall. Like where are you gonna go? Even if we have one once a month, and you can go in person and shop whimsical things once a month, like that's something you can't find here.
Yeah.
So I think that we have been thinking about it a lot, and just I think that there are holes. So like as garb sale moves more towards vendor specific, you have to have like a full 10 by 10 booth. You have to have like a business. You have to have a following. You have to do whatever. You're a craft maker. You make horns. You make ears. Like whatever it is. I think as they move towards that and away from the yard sale style, there's going to be need for the yard sale style. Need for like clothing swaps, stuff like that.
Because it was the only place I felt like you can buy the stuff that you would find on like Facebook Marketplace, but like be certain that you're not actually being scammed. Like,
yeah, and try it on.
Yeah, and also try it on. Like Facebook Marketplace, great. They have deals. Like people are trying to always get rid of their stuff, but like how do I know that it's not like
a scam,
some weirdo who's trying to scam, or like that this thing will fit me and then I have to resell it if it doesn't fit? Yeah, totally. And then I have to also like potentially tell people where I live.
Yeah, we don't
like
want that.
I don't want that. So like I really liked that the garb sale has always been a place where I could like shop and then also sell things that I'm trying to get rid of for like maybe not the most expensive price that I could get for it, but like I can get rid of a lot of it at once.
Yeah.
I don't have to sit there and wait for like the Depop sales to come in. And also it just like it makes it easier to go towards someone that like I can see in person and be like, oh, I think that you are going to really love this and like take care of it. And like that just kind of emotionally puts my mind at ease.
Totally. I also think that as we're just talking about events, like we just had the fairy picnic, which July has been very busy for us with the remarkets and the picnic.
Remarkets?
We had a market and we had 2 days of garb sale.
Oh,
3
okay.
days of market.
Okay.
And we also had the fairy picnic, which was
really successful.
2 days ago, yeah. We had about 200 people. We had some vendors, sourdough bread, baked goods, braiding, face painting, illustrations. I got an illustration.
Paint was so cute.
Yeah.
I loved the face paint.
You got face paint, right? On your chest?
I got chest paint.
That's
tattoo
super
paint.
cool. Yeah, my
so much
partner
fun.
got face paint. I got an illustration. We just finished the loaf of sourdough bread. It was like the best sourdough bread I've ever had.
Get bread next time.
Oh my God, it was so good.
Oh, those pies were really good too.
Yeah, Jack loved the pies. We are planning to do more of those. That seems to be actually probably I don't want to call it the most successful event we've had, but like for us and what we're looking for in building community, I think it was like one of the most successful events we've done.
It was definitely the most successful in terms of impact versus effort.
Yes, because sometimes we're doing a lot of planning and then it's very difficult for people to be able to hang out and talk or make friends. And at the end of the day, like coming to the balls is really fun. We're not stopping doing those. But it's difficult to fully make friends when you're just like attending and dancing. I think about it logically, like how many friends are you making on the dance floor? Maybe a few, but like how much time do you have to like actually sit and get to know people?
Yeah.
And I think with the fairy picnic, it was a 6-hour event. It flew by. I mean, I feel like I could have been there another 3 hours. Like I wasn't tired at all. Which is crazy. I mean, you made it the whole event.
Tired. Yeah.
You made it the whole event.
That's true. I was planning on leaving earlier.
Yeah, and you didn't. You made it all the way to the end. I could have stayed another 3 hours, honestly. And, like, it was just so relaxing. I feel like We ate. We all got to talk. We took photos.
People dressed up their own stuff. Like, they brought their own decor and stuff, which was great. 'Cause, like, we definitely don't have enough decor for that place.
No, and it's like, then you don't have to worry about food allergies. Everybody's bringing what they like. And because that's always, you know, it's always a struggle when you're trying to provide food for people. Everybody has different food sensitivities. I have a lot of anxiety about eating prepared food that I don't know where it's coming from just because of my allergies. So it worked out well. It's also very accessible. Like, we sold out all the tickets. They're super cheap so that people could come. I just feel that it was just a great way to get the community together. So we'll be doing that more. We'll also be working with Manor Mill in Moncton. We're going to be doing some like festival style events. We have some cool things in the pipeline coming up, and we're working on next year's ball theme. We're working on this year's ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be super cool. So you'll be seeing a lot more from us soon. Yay.
Oh, and restarting the Patreon and shit.
We're restarting the Patreon. We're going to have an updated version of the newsletter. And yeah, I feel like we're going to have Tavern Nights every month. That starts this month, in a week. It will be August, and then it'll be at the end of August, end of September. It's always going to be at the end of the month, on a weekday. We're going to have Tavern Nights. We'll have a small market for each of those, 10 vendors. And then we'll be doing another market at Cloisters. We've got a busy calendar, guys. It's really crazy.
We do.
Yeah, but it's good, and I feel like we were just talking about this when we first started this back in like 2022. 2023. I can't believe it was only 3 years ago. It feels like it was forever ago.
When did you guys start? You started talking about it like March of 2023 or something?
Yeah. We talked about it in the winter, and then we did it in 2023. And we've had like almost 6 balls maybe since then, and then 5 or 6. Yeah, it's super crazy. And then it wasn't supposed to be a business. We haven't even been treating it like a business until
we've
a couple
just been
months
completely
ago.
like winging it, and like I just like make sure that we have enough budget to cover everything we need, and that's about all we do.
I think the funny part is that what we did was we were just like, okay, we're going to do a ball, then we're going to do 2 balls a year. Then that was so much work, got kind of burnt out, that we were like, oh, we're going to do a ball and a tee, and then we'll do that like once a year. And then as it's grown, and the coolest part is just going and then seeing, like, I don't know if you noticed this at the picnic, but you see these groups of people. Yeah. They come to all the events, and now they're like a friend group at the events.
It's very cute.
I love it. And so then they're all hanging out, they're having fun, and we want more of that. And so then it's like people are like, when's the next thing? When's this? When's that? And then we'll be like, oh, I wish there was a fantasy craft market.
We can provide that.
Yeah, we can just do it. So then that's how we've ended up doing this. And now we're working on nonprofit status. And just as we work towards everything, it's just getting bigger and bigger. And it's so cool. Yeah. So thank you guys for being here and supporting us. We really appreciate it. Yeah. And we'll be excited to share more with you next episode.
Yeah.
All right. Have a whimsical week.
Comment your Venus sign. I want to know. I'm so curious.
Yeah, let us know. All right.
Comment your Venus sign and an outfit.
All right. See ya.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh, I dropped it.